I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. We begin today with an Election 2012 report. Earlier this week, we reported on the announcement of a group of rabbis calling themselves Rabbis for Obama in support of the re-election of the president. Now the Republican Jewish Coalition, or RJC, and the Republican Emergency Committee for Israel, or ECI, have both called for the removal of one of the group's 613 rabbis because of her anti-Israel views. The rabbi being referred to as Rabbi Lynn Gottlieb, who is part of the Jewish Renewal Movement, who has called for a boycott of all Israeli products. Gottlieb is a prominent member of the group called Jewish Voice for Peace, which encourages corporations and universities to divest from Israel, claiming the Jewish state engages in human rights violations. The Anti-Defamation League has called Jewish Voice for Peace one of the top 10 anti-Israel groups. Gottlieb was also the first U.S. rabbi to visit Iran on an official mission, speaking at an interfaith dialogue Ramadan dinner in 2008. At the dinner was Ahmadinejad, a Holocaust denier, and Gottlieb used the occasion to explain the importance of the Holocaust. Gottlieb also urged both Iran and the U.S. to engage in direct peace talks. The Obama campaign, which says Rabbis for Obama sees the president as an advocate for issues which are important to the Jewish community, refused to sever ties with Rabbi Gottlieb, saying in a statement to the JTA that support for the president has come from rabbis across the political spectrum, and the president obviously does not endorse or embrace their every affiliation, action, or utterance. Since Rabbis for Obama is clearly supporting the Democratic candidate for re-election, Shalom TV asked the ECI why it feels it is appropriate to call for Rabbi Gottlieb's removal from the group any more than it would be appropriate for Democrats to tell the ECI whom it should have on its board. ECI Executive Director Noah Pollack basically dismissed the question and responded by asking why there are BDS or boycott, divestment, sanctions activists in Rabbis for Obama, and asked if they shouldn't remove them, adding there are basic red lines that should be in effect here. If you support these things, you should have no part in mainstream groups like Rabbis for Obama. In an exclusive to the Jerusalem Post, foreign policy spokesman for German Chancellor Angela Merkel's party in the Bundestag has called for Lebanon's Hezbollah to be placed on the European Union's list of terrorist groups. Philip Misfelder said Hezbollah threatens the security of our ally Israel and is involved in countless terror activities and receives protection from the Iranian regime. Misfelder's call to outlaw Hezbollah is the first such statement from a senior European politician since the U.S. and Israeli intelligence agencies asserted that the Lebanese group was responsible, alongside Iran, for murdering 5 Israelis and their bus driver in Bulgaria in July. Misfelder appealed to Cypriot Foreign Minister Erato Kazoku Markoulis, whose country now holds the presidency of the 27-member EU, to take action against Hezbollah. And staying with Germany, as we continue to bring you the latest regarding the controversy there over ritual circumcision, Germany's main Jewish body announced Friday its intention to institutionalize the training of moils, or ritual circumcisers. The Central Council of Jews in Germany is organizing meetings with the Orthodox Rabbiner Seminars zu Berlin and the Reform Abraham Geiger College in Potsdam, both of which train rabbis, with the intention of making the training of circumcisers part of their rabbinical training program. Concern has been growing among Jews in Europe, Israel, and here in the United States over the issue, including the recent charges filed against Rabbi David Goldberg in Germany for performing a circumcision after a court in Cologne ruled in June that the ritual constitutes bodily harm. Rabbi Julie Schoenfeld, Executive Vice President of the Rabbinical Assembly, the international umbrella organization for conservative rabbis, released a statement Thursday saying the RA was distressed to learn of the charges and called on the German parliament to protect the right sacred to both Jews and Muslims, and reiterated statements made last month which said it is a dangerous practice of trying to legislate belief and curtail freedom of religion. And finally, the UN Economic and Social Council has named an Israeli non-governmental organization as a special consultant on assisting disabled children. Beit Issi Shapiro, a nonprofit that works towards integrating children and adults with disabilities into mainstream society, will provide Israeli expertise in the field of disability rights and represent the innovations coming out of Israel. Israel is not a member of the UN Council, which has 54 member states, among them Egypt, Iraq, Libya, and Qatar. Noah Foreman, an Israeli delegate to the UN on human rights issues, described the honor as a tremendous achievement, telling local Israeli publication Yediot HaSharon the fact that an Israeli NGO made it past hurdles set by countries that are not exactly friendly toward Israel shows that no one can object to Beit Issi Shapiro's work. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.